An all-powerful being sends a man on an errand, and he refuses to go. Trying to escape, he ends up swallowed by a huge fish, and somehow he survives. How could this well-known figure in the Bible called Jonah survive an encounter like that? It sounds impossible, but the Bible contains many accounts people describe as miraculous. Even in recent times, there have been survival stories that seem hard to explain. So today, we're going to explore how possible it would be for a human to survive inside the belly of a large sea creature for 3 days and 3 nights. We'll analyze it from every angle: biology, psychology, and physics. Most of us know the story, so let's fast forward to the moment Jonah is thrown into the sea and swallowed whole. Perfect. Right there. For the sake of context, let's assume we're talking about something truly enormous. Say, a whale, so Jonah has enough room to stretch his legs. But here is the problem. A whale's stomach isn't a hotel room. It's a pressurized living chemical plant. The air problem. A large whale's digestive system is not designed to hold breathable air. Once swallowed, any oxygen present would be rapidly displaced by carbon dioxide and methane produced by digestion and fermentation. Even in the most optimistic scenario, like Jonah being swallowed with an unusually large pocket of air, usable oxygen would be depleted within minutes. Human brain tissue begins to suffer irreversible damage after roughly 4 minutes without oxygen. Jonah would need to survive 4,320 minutes. In that time, you could watch the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy about 7 times. Except instead of popcorn, you're breathing methane. Not exactly a 5-star cinematic experience. The chemical bath. Then comes the rain. Not water, gastric juice. The stomach of a whale secretes hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes such as pepsin, producing a pH comparable to battery acid. This mixture is strong enough to break down muscle, connective tissue, and eventually bone. Jonah would not dissolve instantly, but within hours, exposed skin, eyes, and lungs would suffer severe chemical burns. Vision loss, respiratory injury, and systemic shock would follow long before full digestion ever began. Basically, by hour 6, Jonah is looking less like a prophet and more like a piece of tenderized meat. Survival here isn't a question of days, it's a question of minutes to hours. Then, the movement. Whales routinely dive hundreds to thousands of feet in search of food. While pressure inside the body largely equalizes, rapid depth changes would create extreme disorientation, compounded by hypoxia, heat loss, and physical trauma from violent muscular contractions. Jonah wouldn't be crushed, but he would be battered, disoriented, and physiologically destabilized in ways the human body is not built to survive. But even if the body somehow endured, the mind faces its own breaking point. Inside the animal, there is complete sensory deprivation. No light, meaning total darkness. No stable orientation. No sense of time. Only motion, pressure, and sound transmitted through dense tissue and fluid. Sperm whales produce some of the loudest biological sounds ever recorded. Powerful sonar clicks used for navigation and hunting. Even muffled, these low-frequency vibrations would be deeply unsettling, capable of inducing panic, nausea, and neurological stress. Imagine being trapped inside a giant subwoofer that's playing nothing but industrial construction noises at 230 decibels. Psychologically, this environment would trigger an extreme stress response, skyrocketing cortisol, rapid onset anxiety, and loss of cognitive stability. Most humans would experience panic, dissociation, or mental collapse within the first 24 hours. After 72 hours, the Bible says the fish vomited Jonah onto dry land. This isn't a gentle exit. It's being fired out of a biological cannon. If Jonah actually walked onto that beach, he would have looked like a ghost. His skin likely bleached a sickly, translucent white by the gastric acids. But he didn't go to an ICU. He stood up and finished his mission. He didn't even ask for a Gatorade. He just hit the ground running. This guy survives a biological demolition derby and decides to go preach to a whole city. That is some top-tier, built-different energy. The verdict. We've run the numbers. Biology says death. Chemistry says dissolution. Psychology says he should be checked into a nut house. If this event truly happened, there is no natural explanation. To accept the story of Jonah is to accept that the laws of the universe were put on pause. When the science says impossible and it happens anyway, you're looking at the thumbprint of the supernatural and the existence of an all-powerful being. Does science disprove the miracle, or does it just define exactly how much of a miracle it really was? Let me know in the comments which impossible event we should stress test next. Don't forget to like and subscribe.